Hi everyone, Susie here from Minnesota, and I garden in a zone 4B, and this is part 2 of my late August tour. On the left side, that is a hardy mum for my zone, and it's just gorgeous. It's not going to stay here right now, it is, because this hydrangea here isn't full size yet, but this has been gorgeous this year. I like that more pastel colored yellow. And yes, I should have been pinching it so it would bloom in the fall, but I'm liking it now. This is Limelight Prime. Looks good. Again, hydrangeas look the best they ever have this year, just due to all of the rainfall. And then again, also look a little tattered too because of all of the rainfall. But I mean, they're massive. I don't know. I am just. Pinky Winky is my favorite. It's airy and beautiful and lacy and just doesn't flop. So I can see why these in Tree Farm are a bit better. Because I like hydrangeas, I just don't like when they're hanging over. I mean, this is just, oh, love it. Very, very heavy though. I did clean up all of my garden waste. I got it into one of my compost bins. Super ecstatic about that. I was actually doing that in the rain, which was probably a good day to do it. This is a little Limelight. Looking great this year. I've got one really big one over here, over 5 feet finally. Lilacs are blooming again, or still putting out blooms. This one looks good. There's just one right now. A lot of the lilacs are browning up, looking like they're dead. And I just noticed some on mine. I hope not. What an eyesore. So I'm gonna come in here and trim it. I'm not gonna burn it, nothing. But otherwise, that's the only spot I'm just a little nervous. I did cut back this rose here pretty good, just because it was covering up my path and I was really tired of trying to figure out a way around my garden. William Baffin Climbing Rose, looking great again. Few blooms here and there. But yeah, now I can get through. I retired the petunias. They were still looking okay, but not enough to where I wanted to keep them. And I really wanted to walk through. Verbena bonariensis, self-seeded. Look at that with the grasses. This is just a beautiful combo. I love verbena with grasses. And this rose here, so many roses, and I get it's the sun situation. It's not. This is still full sun back here, but look how tall this has gotten. This is an Proven Winners favorite honey, something like that. It's a little, I prefer David Austin roses with the names, a little more elegant. But yeah, it's really healthy, putting on lots of blooms, liking it. Oh, but it looks like it's gonna climb too a little. We've been humid, so I mean, I'm expecting this. Verbena Bampton seed I started, loving it. It's a little wild right now, but it's perfectly fine in my eyes. I'm just leaving this. This is an eyesore. This is my sacrificial plant because this is covered in aphids. I don't know if you can see. And right now, if it just goes to this, and I'm not seeing any on the rose, which is pretty amazing. So I'm very sorry. I'm a little sweet pea. And I don't pick any of the blooms because, of course, they're covered in these aphids. Lots of deadheading to do over here. Kind of tricky. Bees love this spot. This is a little bit of a hot mess. I was going to retire this container, but the bees were really liking it. And it's being hidden a little bit. But one plant in this container with the gomphrena. This is what I mean. You gotta plant that one. This is a tuber I bought. I don't know the name. It's really pretty. Very vibrant. I mean, lots of, I'm shocked. It was a late planting. I wasn't even gonna plant it. I think this bee is dead. Or maybe it's just sleeping. I don't know. It was here last night. So I would think that that would not be a good spot, because why hasn't a bird found it yet? I might be too busy with all the cicadas for that. I think it's dead though. I feel really bad. Got drunk on pollen. But this is just gorgeous. This is Omega. I mean, the colors are gorgeous. Oh. But I don't know why it flops like that. Me and my struggles with dahlias. But it's still pretty. A little bit of a hot mess. We'll just looks pretty like this. Oh, this is a little more yellow. What's up with that? The light situation. Never mind. I answered my own question. And then in here, I dug up all of the lamb's ear. It was browning up really good. I wasn't liking it. I think it's stinky. Obviously, it took over this whole area. That looks weird. That's just Alchemilla mollis, which will get to be this size in about 3-4 years. So it'll, honestly, 3 plants there probably would have been fine. But I was going to save some, and then I'm like, nope, because I killed my back trying to dig it out. I honestly thought it was going to be easy, that I could just pull it out. So I ended up digging this area over about 3 times just to make sure I got all the roots. But yeah, nope. I'm kind of getting over plants that are invasive in my area. And I mean invasive aggressive. It's not invasive because it's definitely not like the creeping Jenny or say lily of the valley. But I like it. Cleaner, very bare, but I'm resisting the urge to plant anything else. These are just annuals of mine, Purple Prince Alternanthera. But this is an Amsonia here. I'll probably get a little bit bigger. So I just have to wait. And then this is a Millennium Allium. This is going over. But I am wanting to move that one probably next year to the front somewhere. Probably right here would be a good spot. But I'm definitely adding more alliums in my garden. They're just low maintenance, look good. Can take anything you throw at them. I'm pretty rabbit resistant. So, looks great. Eventually, I mean, this path it was better at one point, but when I edge, I'll come in here and then I will, so it's not like, and it's just more of an even flow. You gotta love what grass does. And that's just me not keeping up on the edging. And that's probably my least favorite job. This is just an entire container of hip hop euphorbia. And then another self-seeded verbena. Grass is dancing in the breeze. And then these are oh so easy double red. I'll see if I can get a better picture of that. I cut back all of the Strantia. It looks a little tough and yellowing. The Veronica does look better. The foliage looks fresh. I doubt if it's going to flush out again in my zone. And then the Georgia Peach Fucras look amazing. And then I planted, more Millennium Allium. It's where the grass had died, and I like it. I got a bit of my path back. I'm expecting them to get from here to here with width, so that'll be nice. These were just clearance plants I bought way early in the season. It was by my zucchini, and they look fantastic. There's just 2 in there in a tiny little container, but honestly, I found with these, they like to be cramped and to dry out. So they just perfect. It's not going to stay there. It's kind of in the way, but cut flowers, definitely cutting back on cut flowers for next year. I'm just letting them go to seed right now. This is way too many. I don't know what I was thinking. And then, of course, my niece was all gung-ho for it last year, and this year, nope. So, There we go. Oh my goodness, look at the color on that one. I did not plant that color. That is gorgeous. Lizzie-anthus, and it's all seeds I started, no plugs. But I've picked so many, I probably have about 80 of them in here. That was overkill. So, Roseanne Brown, really like Black Pearl, which is this one. It's got different hues to it at different times. Kind of then like when it goes over dusty, then an apricot. So, oh, I didn't show you over here. This is old Titan here. And then I had some echinops back here, globe thistle, that just didn't make it. It was rotted, and I just could pull it out of the ground, which was, I was expecting that with the lambs there. But I have 3 more alliums here. Where's they? Have to take here. They got this from Great Garden Plants. It's a bobblehead, and it's a huge allium. Gets to 30 to 32 inches tall. I think about 20 to 24 inches wide. So, lighter blooms, not quite as vibrant as the Millennium Alliums, but a really beautiful foliage too. So I like that spot is bigger than what you think. It's just, it always looks smaller on camera. Let me see if I can. Ground is really wet. So yeah, so I have them spaced probably about 18 inches apart from each other, and then this rose is just hanging over, so it's got this area here. And here's the thing, they're not going to get big by next year. That doesn't happen. But the penstemon looks okay right now, but if it doesn't make it, I think one here would look really good. And then this is a very awesome hardy hibiscus. It looks great, still loaded in buds. I had it staked and that was not working, so I have twine around it, if you can see in there. So it was flopping over. I wasn't liking it, and I mean, you wouldn't know I staked it either, and it looks great. There's nothing unnatural looking about this. So I did a pretty good job. With the grasses, look at that. I love this area right now. Hydrangeas, not so much. They flop too, and I have stakes under it, and it looks a little weird. More of the Waltzing Matilda here. Gorgeous, lots of buds. Cucumbers I can't keep up on. I planted a lot. And it was just the year for them too. Yeah, I'm gonna go this way. So this hydrangea is gorgeous. I mean, the head is huge. I forget which one. I don't know if it's Quickfire Fab or there's so many of them that sound the same, look the same, but this isn't bad. But these down here were all laying in the mud, so I can't bring them in as cut flowers. They're just so heavy. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with this, because every year it flops. So yeah, I have these. I didn't have big stakes, so it's just those little half hoops. I wish I had a little bit bigger so it would be up a little more. I had to figure out a support for it next year. Again, so many cut flowers, and then I have a cucumber that's not gonna work when it gets bigger, because those cucumbers get huge. It's gonna flop at some point, but yeah, I can't keep up on this. I thought I was gonna have help, to tell the truth. I was super excited that my niece was taking an interest in the garden, and then nope. This is Starry Night Hibiscus. Love it. I mean, the basil is beautiful with it too. That purple and it's loaded. This is going to be blooming probably for the next few weeks here, which will be great. These are self-seeded garlic chives, which I have at the back of my garden, so they are very aggressive. So plant at your own risk, but I actually like this a lot, like a lot, where I'm okay with trying to contain that. And they like sun or shade, and I'll show you. Grasses, they do get battered down by rain, and then they do pop back up, so I'm liking it. I have to get rid of that. Tomatoes have been just splitting before they ripen, so they've been a lot of rotting. I've enjoyed some, but not as many as last year. Zucchini is doing good. That's one that needs to be staked up, but this is one where once it starts growing, yeah, otherwise it should be up to here. That's my fault, but it's still doing its job. So the purple beans are finally doing really good, and then the green ones are not producing anymore. So the purple ones at first were not, and I was a little shocked, but now I'm happy. I'm just gonna do what I can with these containers and be done, and just start neatening things up, and that's okay. This is Sweet Annie. Lasts forever in an arrangement, and I love it. So I will pick some and make more. It smells really good. But you do have to rub your hands against it to get that smell. This is the self-seeded garlic chives, which is that was flooded for the entire month of June. And this is where this barely gets any sun back here because of all of the plants surrounding it. And look how prolific that is. So there you go. But don't plant it if you don't want it to. At least it self-seeds for me pretty good. This is all the lamb's ear that I'm letting dry. And then I'm going to shake off the soil and then get rid of it. Of a lot. Cucumbers. I'm not out here every day to pick just because of work. And I just think this one might be okay. Just a little seedy. I haven't had a bitter one yet. So. That's the frost explosion grass. I mean, can I just say how amazing that looks? It just looks smoky. I love it. And I get the name. Yeah, so this has been reduced probably by about a third. That's getting close. And then I've been taking dry from there, and I just have to, I know that one should be close. This I've just been filling up with dry right now. But I have to wear a long sleeve shirt with this because I gathered it up in my arms and I broke out from something, probably the echinops, and it tore up my arms. This one is close. And then I just filled this one a few days ago. And look how much it has gone down. So I'm going to keep adding to that one until I can't. I have an Aunt Molly's ground cherry back here. Oh, because I reused my potting mix, and so it hitched a ride. There you go. Benefits of using, I don't know if you'd say a benefit, because that thing can self-seed all over, but the ups and downs of reusing potting mix. This plant right here has self-seeded, and I mean, it's all over in here, and that's okay because it is a native. It's late figwort. It's a horrible name. Oh, this is browning again. What the heck? That's pink mink clematis. It did it last year. I thought, how can it this year with all the rain we've had? So there's just been some diseases going around, which has been a little, like for the lilacs, and then also the crab apples. This is Polish spirit viticella. But yeah, it's a native late figwort. But it does get tall and floppy. But I consider it a see-through plant, but the pollinators love it. I think it was, about 4 or 5 years ago I planted it. And it is aggressive, but again, most natives are. But it can pop up anywhere it wants, especially when you think it's been flooded. I keep saying that, but it's amazing that some of the stuff that doesn't like wet feet did just fine. This is looking tough. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, there's been a lot of diseases going around. But it's still, they're putting out blooms, all of them. Look, I am pretty sure that this is goldenrod. Oh, I'm going to need to use 2 hands with that. That self-seeds all over. I never planted it. I don't mind it, but it's aggressive too, amongst everything else. I love turtlehead. I would say if you can plant this. It does love water though. I have another one of those. I had two of these, the Lilac Crush. This one's not going to seed, but I have it planted back here. Again, my beautiful compost top dress. It is close to the Sun King, but understand this Sun King is going to be rehomed next year, either in my garden or a friend's garden. But I didn't want to do it this year because these have a tendency to be a little temperamental too in my zone. So if it comes back next year, then I'll move it. But if it doesn't, then I'm not working, what is it? Work smarter, not harder. So that's what I'm doing this year. Love coral berries. Love them. They're underrated because they're nothing to look at until fall, and then they get these beautiful pink berries. And then you ask yourself, where have you been all my life? Because yeah, they look like nothing in the garden center. This is the other little hottie that's just too close here. I wasn't expecting this kind of growth from that, but pleasantly surprised. But yeah, they don't get very big. You can see that. Tiny wine 9-barks. I love the color of the stems. Not as purpley as some I've seen, but you know what? I will take this. And beautiful growth. Another coral berry. Doing really good. I planted this last fall. It was a little tiny container. So they grow fast. Highly recommend that one. Not the clethra. Don't like that. It just doesn't like my zone for some reason, or maybe where I have it. I love the blue dwarf Arctic willow. Just that movement. Oh, and then I have another Rodgersia over here. So we'll see which areas it likes the best. I would say honeysuckle has got to be my favorite vines out of all of them. I mean, and then clematis is second. I do like the climbing roses, but they're a lot of maintenance. Like I probably will have to trim on this. I've never seen, that's just a beast. Oh, look at this. This is the Korean featherweed grass. I'm like, oh, it's the last one. Look. Putting out a plume. Gorgeous fall interest. I can't say enough about that grass. I love it. And I have a big clump in there. I was going to move it and I thought, nope, it can stay there. I'm fine with that. And then it'll help support some of those. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, those cicadas, when they fly into your hair, they're not as, oh, they're massive. Oh, yuck. Ajuga is loving its life back here. I'm gonna have to figure that one out because holy cow, it is like a carpet back here. But I love all of the different textures and heights back here. This is a really good spot, but right now it's got a nice breeze too. Hopefully you can hear me and that buzzing noise is not bothering, or I should say bugging you, because it does me. And this is pink Senorita zinnia. So, is there a bloom in here that, yeah, oh, that's a vibrant color. Like it back here. I mean, I do like the late figwort. It's just, it's interesting. I'm not liking the foliage though of the Aunt Molly's ground cherry. That is, look, do you see how big this plant is? Like, maybe I should get in there somehow and get rid of that. I do compost these, but I have to chop them up. I try, so some of the advice I can give you is layer green and brown. If you don't have brown, then I shred cardboard then, if I can, and do what I can. I do use grass clippings, big time, that heats it up. But chop your pieces up smaller, just don't leave it whole, because this will break down, but that takes a bit. But I just use this. And then I go and chop away. It gets out some stress, believe me. Oh my goodness. it's just me picking. I think if I could get my sister to come, and she loves them too, I'm like, please come out and help yourself. But if I don't pick it, no one else does. I love this. I could just, it's like phew, fireworks, frosted explosion, just. And it was a pity plant also. I was not going to plant this. It started off really good, and then it looked really horrible, and then I just chucked it into the ground here, and it's been amazing. And the staking, or lack of staking, oh, next year I will, like I said, I will have some cut flowers, but I'm really focusing on more vegetables next year. I want to try carrots. I've done it before. I want to do garlic. Do you want to do potatoes again? I know they're cheap, but there's something about coming out to your own garden and picking your dinner. Or me, even right now, I'm going to go grab a few tomatoes and beans, and that's my breakfast. And even a cucumber. I just wipe it off on my shirt. It's all hanging up and doing fine, and I guess what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I love the grasses. I was going to get rid of them. I'm like, no, you know what? I was just having a moment. Oh, and then I have another coralberry down here, which has put out a lot of growth too since I planted on it. But you saw how big it gets. This is just some of my own pink goblin veronica. Flush back pretty good. I really don't think I'm going to get a bloom again. Because, I mean, our freeze can happen end of September, early October. I'm hoping not, but it can. Last year, I think it was end of October into November. It was late, and I was greatly appreciated. Oh, I was going to find you a rose. Yes. I've got a few minutes here to spare. Oh, yes, and then Lady of Shalott in that one garden. If you, I didn't go over that garden a whole lot because there wasn't much to see, but where I have this delphinium, which is a beast here. Oh, and then soft-seeded Nicotiana. Love this. But everything's just flopping this year. But it's, where can I show you? Like down in here. This is looking beautiful. It's a delphinium, a beast. It was one I started from seed. I was just taking over everything in here. I'm thinking, and it doesn't look like a lot of room, but you have to understand how much of the Nicotiana has taken over. I will have to trim that back. But I'm going to put Lady of Shalott here because it is supposed to be more, I bought it as a climbing rose, so it's not going to get huge, but it's definitely going to get some height back here where I think it'll look good in this huge area. I think so. And the roses seem to love this area in my garden. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you too. So this is a Proven Winners. It looks tough this year because of all the rain. Baptisia Pink Lemonade. But I'm pretty sure that it's seeded. Because that looks like that like pea foliage. And then, because it's in the pea family, just not edible. But over here too, look at that. So that's cool. I'm going to leave that. Oh, I walked right into a spider web. In here. I don't know. This isn't doing it justice, but oh, look at that. That morning sun coming through. I keep saying that, but just so peaceful. This is a rose that I highly recommend just because it's a no-brainer. I mean, I pretty much cut this down to about 6 inches from the ground in the spring. I mean, really, and sometimes it's even lower than that because I get a lot of dieback with my zone. Brown canes, dead canes. And it puts out all of this growth. Takes about 3 to 4 years. That's the only thing. But that's pretty much a lot of roses. Alright, so hopefully you enjoyed, and hopefully you've got a little cooler weather. Right now it's really nice, so humid, but nice. It's just like that perfect balance. And you have some fall color. I shouldn't say fall, we're not fall yet. Late summer, there we go. So hopefully you enjoyed, and bye for now.